G'day viewers, it's Michael here again and welcome back to SingleRacer and welcome back to a brand new Channel of the Month video. And so which channel is featured in this month's Channel of the Month? Well, to quote probably the best known Seinfeld episode ever, it is the master of his domain. But please don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying in my typical Australian slang that he's a wanker. No, I'm saying that he's the master of his domain because I think he's created one of the best and well-known PP filters for Assetto Corsa, and that's Horizon Shades. But not only has he created a separate PP filter, but also a weather suite known as Horizon Shades Weather for you to use in Assetto Corsa. But at this point, let me make something clear, and that's because I think PP filters are an argument subgenre of arguing, which sim is the best out of the 6 or 7 available, because everyone's got a different opinion, and of course naturally so do I, but everyone has their own view on what PP filter looks good in their eyes. But one of the reasons I personally like it the most is because it arguably offers you 3 stages, or 3 levels if you like, of PP filter layers based on your own skill levels and your understanding especially of Content Manager. And so to explain in a bit more detail, let's have a proper look now at the channel simply called Master. And Master created one of the most well-known PP filters, or at least in my eyes, called originally Horizon Shades. But then he took it to another level and created a whole weather suite. Now this is an optional weather suite that works perfectly well with Soul and Content Manager, called of course Horizon Shades Weather. So there is 2 of the 3 options you could have. You could either have the PP filter on its own if that's all you wanted, or you could have the weather suite, and I'll have a link in the description to this particular teaser trailer here by Master that shows you the 5 different presets in the Horizon Shades Weather that gives you a bit more in-depth options to the PP filter within the weather app. But one of the things made very clear by Master when he created this weather app was that he states that he doesn't want to run a thing called Reshade, which is a separate thing altogether for Assetto Corsa and other games. But the channel that I previewed last month, which was Atrupelador, actually runs Reshade. Now, to me, the Master videos already look fantastic, and like I said, I'll have a link to the particular preview or teaser trailer, if you like, of his particular video in the description. But Atrupelador runs Reshade and takes it to a whole other level, and in fact I would argue it's personally the best I've ever seen Assetto Corsa look over everything else. The way he has customized it to run with the weather app, one of the settings of the 5 settings of the weather app is his own created or tweaked filter called ATR, and he also runs Reshade. And what I'll do is I'll have a link to this particular video here, which is a great example of the quality. And if you think that looks good, then to me, I believe that that is the best Assetto Corsa has ever looked, or arguably the most realistic. But just before we wrap up and head over to the race replay, there's a couple of important housekeeping points I need to make. And that is because I can't show it off in the best way possible. So I don't want to let Master down in the fact that I'm limited by the fact that firstly, I'm not a tweaker. I'm not the kind of person that will sit for hours changing settings or just seeing what works best for me. The second is also it's track dependent, and I made the mistake of showing this Australian track because it had an Atrupelador Camtool preset, but the track isn't the highest detail, and I think that lets it down also. But thirdly, I don't have a very high performance PC, so I'm not getting the true frame rates you should really get to really show it at its fullest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have in the description the link to the Atrupelador video I think looks outstanding, and you can view that video to get a better feel. But also, I think Master, over anyone I've ever seen on Race Department, has the best installation file information. The way he's laid it out, it makes it very, very simple. As my brother says, even a 5-year-old can do it. You know, it's made really, really simple and absolutely fantastic. But the channel called Sir Spats Gaming, and I hope I have that pronunciation correct, has done a much better full and proper installation video on how recommended settings and how to do it properly. And the thing is that he's a much higher level of quality in his video. So if you want to get a real sense of how it looks properly with going through all the weather options as well, I'll also have a link to the tutorial by Sir Spats Gaming on how to install this properly. And that's because it's important to know that when you install this, it's purely an option, meaning I have 3 custom presets. I have one whenever I do VR footage, a clear and non-affected footage which I use mainly for the cockpit view that you can actually see at the start of this video as an example, and also the Master's PP filter or weather app that includes the filter, but also anyone else's filter that you could actually flick to compare how the replays look. But the best bit about that is you can not only flick over to Master's PP filter option, but also away from it whenever you want to not use or use a different setting, and you have the option and full control of that at your choice. And so now, finally, after all that waffling, let's head on over to the race replay. So this is Michael signing out for SingleRacer. I'll catch you next time. See you later, and let's go Horizon Shades Racing.